let's start with this Claypool stuff. You explain you were in the room. You explain what Flus seemed to mean, what he was saying, if he was being clear, what did it seem like he was trying to dodge the question? Because I think all that context kind of matters compared to us reading these quotes on Twitter, and then how the clarification from the Bears came afterward.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to try to put this as clear as possible because it's a little even confusing going back to the transcripts. He was Matt Eberflus was asked about Claypool and why he wasn't here, and what Eberflus said. We told him that was a choice, and he is at home right now. And then he was he aware that he'd be inactive? Eberflus was asked, was he aware he would be inactive before he talked to the media on Friday? And then Eberflus said we do the inactives before the game. And then the comments that he said about on how he was being used did not have a factor in Claypool being inactive. So, I mean, that's what Eberflus said in the press conference. And basically it was his choice to stay home. So we put that out there. And once we get back up from the press conferences, then a Bears spokesperson basically tells us, the coach messed up. The team asked Claypool to stay home is what the final, however you want to look at this, Chase Claypool, was it his choice? Was it not? The team, according to the Bears spokesperson, asked Claypool to stay home for this Bears and Broncos game.
So do you take that as a sign that it wasn't the coach's decision to make Chase Claypool inactive, and that it was Ryan Poles' decision, and then also it was Ryan Poles' decision to tell him to stay home? Because that's how I'm seeing it now.
I feel like again, this is just, how I'm kind of interpreting it. It was Chase Claypool, ultimately, his decision. He wanted to stay home. Didn't want to be on the side. That was the first thing I looked for, you guys, when I got to Soldier Field. Where was Chase? Yeah. Obviously nowhere to be found. So it felt like to me, and, Fields even brought in his, post-game press conference about how he, just needs to work better on his public display of his emotions. And we know that. We've seen that kind of with Chase Claypool and how he can act or how he presents himself. So, to me, it kind of feels like you're not going to be active. I'm staying home on Sunday.
So, now the other part of this, at a minimum, the optics of all that confusion there is horrible. I don't understand why a head coach would say he had a choice. Again, this is whatever. We can talk about that later. But Fields also followed up, though, and from what I've seen on Twitter and your reporting, seems to like Claypool and still wants him around. And I'm sitting here wondering, reading those tweets, is this why he's been given second, third, fourth chances? And it seems a little, I don't know. What was Fields like as he was answering those questions?
Yeah, so he said, too, once he found out the news that Chase was going to be inactive, he called Chase just to see if everything was good. And then he was asked, do you want Chase on this team? And he said, of course he wants Chase on his team. And again, this is where Fields said he has to just work on his display of his emotions. And he's had multiple conversations with Chase Claypool about this. But again, he, just reassures everybody. He's like, yes, it's an easy answer. He wants Chase Claypool on this team. I look at it as how many chances this guy going to get, when you want to have accountability for players, but this guy keeps getting a pass for things. But yeah, from how Fields was talking about him, he does still want him on this team, still called him a weapon that he can utilize. But, obviously that wasn't the case for today's game.
Nick, let's go in the locker room. I know you talked to Darnell Wright. What if you can lean into that or anything else that stood out for you from the guys that you were speaking to?
Yeah, and just real quick, one of my initial big takeaways just going into this locker room, Justin Fields sat down at his locker, head down, was not talking to anybody, did not look up. We were talking to our guy Cole Kmet. As Justin Fields is about 2 lockers away from him, head down. You could just tell this one hurt. This one hurt, you guys. You could see it just how he was sitting there. And, I think the very last, one of the second to last questions in the press conference, it was, someone brought it up, you sat at your locker for a while. What were you thinking about? And it was just a lot of things. So, I mean, that's the initial one of the first things I see. But again, talking to like Darnell Wright, again, he was at his locker and he kind of looked defeated. And I asked him about the 4th-and-1 play, and he basically, called himself out. Like, I missed a crucial block on that. It's a linebacker that he said he was just late on, and he didn't get the block. And Justin Fields, talked about he was asked about that 4th-and-1 play as well, saying that it is a read option, but we just need to block. We need to block it up better on the backside. But those are two players on the offense. Cole Kmet was a little bit, I think, more. He wasn't. It didn't look as defeated. As we all know, he's really good at talking. But just looking at Justin Fields, this one definitely hurt you guys. And watching this in the press box, how it's went like this, it obviously would hurt.
Yeah, it had to hurt because, I mean, it's his first career 300-yard game, something he's been waiting, all fans have been waiting to see if he can get. 4 touchdowns, 16-16, a franchise record, completed passes to start the game. But at the end of the day, it's the interception at the end that there will be a large majority of Bears fans that will focus on because that's, how it ended. And Fields obviously is wearing that on his sleeve. I saw you spoke to Cole Kmet and obviously Justin Fields. Did you get any clarification on, I know some of the reports come out that, Cole Kmet's running the route one way, but is there any clarification on who this was exactly on?
So here's how Justin Fields put it, and I think Justin's really good at detailing his mistakes. He owns up to them, and I think he put it in great detail here. So Justin Fields on that interception saw man, and he saw the safety. The safety had depth. He expected Cole to go to a spot and sit down because of the safety depth. Cole stuck to the rules, Fields said, selling over and then breaking back out. That's why it kind of looked like Cole Kmet wanted to go the other direction. And then Fields said, all in all, it's his fault. But in man coverage, he is supposed to do what Cole Kmet did. Sell it and then go back out. But Fields, in his mind, he wanted him to play, quote, football and sit down in space. That's why he threw to a spot. And Cole Kmet, he explained it very similarly. Like, he saw this, and so he was breaking back out. So you ask Greg, whose fault is it on? If you're going by the rules of what the coverage is saying, it looked like Cole Kmet was doing what he was supposed to do. But I think Justin kind of wanted to, again, play, like how he put it, football, and just kind of throw to a spot. So that's how Fields described it, and that's what also Cole Kmet was relaying when he spoke about the play in the post-game press conference.
That is just chemistry. I mean, really, what
They've
it
been
comes
together 3 years.
I know, it's frustrating.
They got to know each other.
Nick, you explained that very well. I appreciate Fields' information on that. You did a good job of explaining it, which is essentially there's an option on that route, it sounds like, based on what the coverage is. Cole Kmet ran it the correct way based on man coverage. However, football is not black and white. I wrote about this in my newsletter last week. It is gray, and you have to live in the gray sometimes on the football field. It sounds like that's what Fields was doing because he realized that even though it was man, that it was open if Cole just sits there. And so it's probably okay. Whose fault is it at the end of the day? Who gets the downgrade? Probably Fields, because he's the one that didn't stick with the rules. But at the same time, I understand what he's thinking there. You want him to play free, and you just wish that they were on the same page. And maybe if Cole sees that, it's thrown in the right spot. That's tough. That's a tough situation.
It's a tough play, guys.
Yeah.
It really is a tough play. And, obviously you watch the game. Those two were connecting all day.
Yeah.
Two touchdowns on the day and, multiple other plays. But in the split seconds, when you really need it, it's like having that one mind. And I just think back when I was in Kansas City where Patrick Mahomes connects with Travis Kelce. Like, Kelce's not supposed to run, in the middle of the field. He's supposed to have a corner route, but they're on the same wavelength. And clearly on this last second play towards the end of the game, Cole Kmet, Justin Fields did not have, that type of connection. And it's unfortunate, but yeah, I mean, that's how football goes. Split-second decisions can lead to completely different results.
Yeah, Nick, anything else we're missing from locker room or anything?
I mean, Terrell Edmonds was speaking, and I think, a lot of what he was saying was that you can't feel sorry for ourselves. You continue to work. Adversity builds character. How you kind of go through adversity kind of defined you in this role. And that's great to hear from, I guess it's great to hear, but for me, you guys, I was waiting for Edmonds to still make that big impact play when the Bears defense really needed in the second half. And you just kind of forget that, 49's out there as big and, being that middle linebacker in the middle of this defense, you just almost forget about it. And maybe I'll have to go back and rewatch the All-22 to get a better, perspective on his plays specifically. But, Terrell, he's always going to say all the right things. I'm still waiting to feel the impact of Edmonds.
Yeah, you mean Tremaine Edmonds, but I don't think anybody can. Sorry. I don't think anybody will blame you if your head is spinning at this point because all of ours are.
It's a long day, and Nick's got a huge semifinal and championship game tomorrow, Monday night softball. So I get it. But Nick, I appreciate
Nick, it's your choice if you want to come to the game, though.
Yeah. Just
I like it.
Just communicate. Actually, it's your choice, but I'll find out from upper management if there's a different directive.
And your girlfriend was none too pleased that you didn't take a selfie with her at the tailgate before you left. Just thought I'd report back to you.
I did get it as I was walking our guys from DNVR to Soldier Field. I saw the text message that I probably should have responded to when I was at the tailgate. So, yes, I am aware. But she had a great time, and she loved hanging out for the first CHGO Bears tailgate, and hopefully there's more to come, and hopefully there will be wins to follow these tailgates. Tailgates have always been great, guys.
I was gonna say,
this is like the Kelsey Brothers podcast. We were all excited after the Taylor Swift thing.
Couples right coverage here. Must listen to this week after that.
You got some splaining to do.
There's Golden Bachelor and couples coverage. That's what everybody should be tuned in this week.
I mean, I would just come out to softball tomorrow night and root the Moreanos on. Okay. Even though they're not the Moreanos just yet.
Nick, Nick, on your way out of Soldier Field, let me know if you see any or feel any sense of accountability anywhere near that stadium at any point.
You're probably not going to hear back from me. So, I mean, you're probably not going to hear back from me. Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, okay. Nick, good stuff.
Thanks, Nick. You can follow him on Twitter at Nicholas Moreano. All of his written stuff up at ALLCITY.